How, honey? I'm home.
Oh God.
In
5D.
5D. This is our
This is
fault for putting him on the
yeah, this is
spot.
my fault. This is entirely my fault.
Not only did you give him the noose by which to hang us, you very conveniently lit it on fire for him right before.
Oh,
we
I thought he
went
was gonna
live.
say you gave me the loaded gun with the bullet.
Yeah.
That's
So
more
for
fitting to the joke of it.
To put that in context, that is an actual TV show that aired. It was canceled while airing.
Yeah,
It was,
for the first time.
for whatever reason, a Hitler and Ava Braun sitcom that somebody decided to make. Played straight, not weird, surreal, avant-garde, tongue-in-cheek. No, just a sitcom about Hitler and his wacky Jewish neighbors.
And now that we've explained that, hi, welcome to another episode of 5D Podcast with your hosts. Above me, we got Jonathan. Say hello, Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan.
Oh, I said say hello. You, sir, fail Simon Says, out. And then below me, I got Devin.
It's not my fault I know of obscure media.
If it wouldn't have fucked up the podcast, I would have left the actual Zoom and then came back.
I know, that would have been hilarious. Like, okay, fine, I'm out.
It would have been good.
Yeah, it would have been good. Okay, let's talk about something that's not so good. And I found the weirdest picture to go along with it because I've only seen this person in the DC movie. So right before we jumped in the podcast, we started looking at a little bit of E-News, and this came up. So Ezra Miller, who I'm posing up a picture that I thought was the most bizarre one of his that I could see.
As an actor, I do enjoy Ezra Miller. Like the few movies I've seen him in, he's good.
I've seen him in
like a
one.
separate art from the artist kind of thing, whatever.
I've seen him in one, so to go from that, and for those of you who don't know, he played the Flash, but to go from that to the picture that I'm seeing right now, very, very like, it's almost like androgynous, right? The look he's got going on right here.
Yeah.
But anyways, so this picture is not why he's in the news. Bonsai, tell us why he's in the news.
Well, there's apparently a video out there. The video has been confirmed by Variety magazine. Now, I don't know how trustworthy Variety magazine is, but I do know it's a pretty major publication, so if they're putting their name on something,
yeah,
chances are. And it's apparently a video of Ezra Miller straight up choke slamming some chick.
Ooh.
Like, he's literally just going, you want to fight? You want to fight? And he grabs her by the throat and slams her on the ground. And it's about the time she hits the ground and he doesn't let go that a couple people start going, hey, and like moving in to make that stop.
Up until that point, everybody was cool with it.
Either cool or just way too in shock that, like, is the Flash assaulting a lady?
Well, I mean, also by this one, is this how they present themselves all the time now, or is that like just a one-off picture that you found?
What?
Oh, you mean is he actively a member of like the trans community, or was it just like a modeling shoot? I actually don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just brought this up because it
well, the reason
different.
I say is because maybe it was like one of those things that they're like, wait a minute, should we get involved? Because this is maybe a cat fight, right, kind of thing. And then when it had gone too far, that's when people jumped into the thing and were like, stop.
Maybe.
Yeah,
people didn't know who he was or something. They thought it was just two chicks fighting.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Could be. I don't know. Does he look like
honestly,
this
for
in the
me
video?
though, it's a he's got the long hair like that, and it's not a great video. That's why they had to confirm. Like, it's not super clearly his face, but if somebody's going to confirm that it's him, then if a major publication is going to go, yes, we have credible sources, it's the dude, then it's the dude. You know what I mean? But yeah, like from the video, even I had to double take and go like, was that him? Yeah, I guess that's him. You know what I mean? It's like
on the video, did it look like he was in female like apparel or male?
He looked like he was in high fashion, which, to be fair, that
could be androgynous. Yeah, it could be androgynous.
But yeah, it was like very loud colored kind of thing. So it was high. It was more high fashion than I'm fucking in an old security shirt that I wore, man.
I'm not even wearing pants right now, bruh.
It's the wrong crowd.
Pretty much in sweat gear right now.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like a hoop skirt and earrings, you know what I mean? Like, but no, I honestly I couldn't say.
I'm about to check it out because I'm just curious to see if they're into the LGBT community or something.
Well, yeah, this might hit. Yeah, this might hit your home a little harder. Like a member of the trans community being a dick. Like, bro, as if that community doesn't got enough to fight for. Fucking go make it worse, bro.
Yeah,
represent your people.
Well, the other problem is that it could have been anything that got into the fight, right? It's all speculation. We just see the aftermath of the actual fight.
True, yeah, and I will say the video does come in right when he goes, "Do you want to fight? Do you want to fight?" and grabs her by the throat. Who knows what led up to that? Maybe she threw a beer bottle at the guy, right? Like I don't know.
Maybe she was also being transphobic. It could be a number of different things.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. No, that's a good call, and context is important. Again, I don't care who it is. If somebody hucks a beer bottle at my head,
the news isn't like he's a giant piece of shit because we don't know the story yet. But the news is homie just body slammed
homie
somebody.
Did straight up choke, like by the throat to the ground, choke slammed her, put her down. So who knows what the story is? I'm curious to see what the story is because, again, I like him as an actor and I'm a big Flash fan and I've been looking forward to his Flash movie. I'd really hate for like a scandal to set that movie back even further. I hope it comes out to be something like she was aggressive or I don't know. I'm rooting for him, but we'll see.
Yeah, legitimately. It was just kind of last minute and then we found out. So that's the news on Ezra Miller. We've all mostly been stuck at home. What's everybody watching? What's your jam right now?
I have been powering through more Star Trek. It's gotten to the point where I heard the word Federation and immediately went to the bridge #1. Like, as I yelled it.
So, but you say powering through. Are you hating it and just watching it for the sake of reporting on it? Or is it hitting you a little bit?
Oh, I'm actually enjoying the fuck out of it. It's really good. I can see why it's one of the best Star Treks out there.
It really is, man.
Its writing is really good. Although I am noticing a pattern, and I'm curious to see how much is going to fall into the next categories of Star Trek.
You're gonna do seasons of patterns, and patterns will come in different patterns. But yeah, it's Star Trek writing.
It's usually some kind of alien creature that's trying to get home. Or there's a complete other dick thing that's happening. Also, by the way, Lore is evil from day one. By the way, like well, you guys had said, or specifically Devin had mentioned that he wasn't a dick starting off and then became evil later.
You didn't know he was a dick.
That is not true.
You didn't know he was a dick.
You have lied to me.
I don't know. I had my sneaking suspicion.
But you suspect. The only thing
that it was missing was like him having a mustache. like that is realistically where they needed to have a mustache on an android.
He's not really evil until he grows a mustache, right?
Well, he should have had a mustache from the beginning because he tries to feed the whole crew to a crystal creature that feeds on life. And that's exactly what happened to the planet that they found data on.
Lore's got layers, just like everybody got layers. You got to keep going.
I am not saying that there's not going to be layers. I am just saying that starting off the bat, he is an evil android from day one is what it seems to me. He also has like the facial tics and stuff. I don't know. He just seems like a psychopath or a sociopath.
Perspective, man.
Yeah, but so is feeding everyone to a crystal beast. Like that seems really evil. Like I get the whole like, are we the baddies question and stuff, but at the same time, that just seems like straight up dick move.
So you're a little bit into the show. I have to ask because I know this is one of the big. You either love it or you hate it at this point. How do you feel about Will Wheaton, Wesley Crusher on the show? Do you hate him? Is he ruining Star Trek? Is he completely innocuous? Do you love him? Where do you fall?
I don't mind him. I don't think that he's like really annoying or anything, nor do I hate him.
A lot of people swear Will Wheaton ruined Star Trek. I personally don't get it. He's fine.
I don't know why they would think that. I mean, there is one episode where like I think it's the second episode actually, where it's like everyone's contracted this weird gravitational pull virus and like they're all like horny for some reason. Like that's the side effect of it, is being like intoxicated is what they say. It's like being drunk. And like he's kind of a dick, but at the same time, like he's also super scientifical and drunk for the first time ever as like a 14-year-old.
Yeah. So
I mean, I can't really hate him there. There are some plot hooks in later episodes that I'm kind of like, this isn't a very strong plot hook.
Isn't there? I'm pretty sure it's early on. Maybe you haven't gotten there. Have you gotten to the planet where like he's bonding with all the other kids on the perfect smart people planet.
Oh, the Aryan race planet? Yeah. Yeah, there's that one.
Yeah.
Well, they're all blonde-haired, blue-eyed, like Aryan Adam and Eve lookalikes. And yeah, they like don't cross the white fences or whatever, and like he falls into a one, and then like now it has to like be put to death.
And
but they're like
jamming on about this. Have you done any Next Generation?
Sporadically. I've seen like chunks of it because remember I was all on public TV. So when the first runs, they were like reruns, and I'd only be able to catch them every so often. And plus, in syndication, they don't always play them in order. It's weird.
Right.
So the good thing is that it doesn't really follow a story arc.
The story arc, as you get later on, it will. It does. Yeah.
Early on, it's monster of the week.
Storytelling.
I could see that. All of it's on Netflix right now, like all of it. So you could theoretically watch it, and I kind of recommend it.
What 6, 7, 8 seasons?
I don't know. I'm not even looking at that number. I'm just letting it go.
I was getting through Babylon 5, but I've taken a break from that.
So some high points for you to look forward to, Klops. Like we keep joking Riker, Beard, but really those are the best seasons. But the Borg.
Oh, I remember the Borg.
And the Borg's arc is dope. And you might need to go out of your way to pepper in the movies because Next Generation does 2 or 3 movies, I think.
Yeah, I remember one movie that had
it might be more than 3.
For just Generation?
Well, because didn't they do a crossover? Because there was Undiscovered Country, right? There was
Nemesis.
Well, now.
Do we got to pull up Star Trek movies right now?
Yup.
Do it.
Yup. Star Trek movies.
In the meantime, another thing I've noticed with early Star Trek Next Generation is that there's a lot of societies that are just like misogynist.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Like the Ferengi. Why do your females wear clothes so that others may unclothe them? Like, what?
Yeah.
How does that work in Goblin Society? Because that's what they remind me of. They remind me of goblins.
So this is kind of, I didn't realize. So the original film series did 6 movies. That's like the Kirk generation did 6 damn movies.
Oh, so
the Next Generation did 4 movies, which was Star Trek Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis. Yeah. And which was the one? One of them is actually story by Nemesis, the one with the Borg. That one is actually written by Brent Spiner, the dude who plays
Nemesis wasn't with the Borg.
That plays what?
First Contact was with the Borg.
Oh, which one's Nemesis? I know
Nemesis was the one where it's like the Picard clone.
Oh, yeah. Either way, that's the one where Brent Spiner writes off his character. He specifically wanted to give Data an ending.
Oh, that's right.
So they give Data an ending in Nemesis.
But do you know, spoiler. He's back.
Oh, really? In Picard?
Picard. They bring him back in Picard.
My wife was talking about trying it, which is so funny because she's not a Star Trek fan. She's like, maybe we should try Picard.
I've seen such mixed reactions from people who are fans. Same. It's so weird. Some people who are fans are like, oh yeah, this is great. Other people are like, this is ruined Star Trek.
Yeah, I've seen both those reactions as well.
It's just super weird.
I'm gonna get through all of Next Generation and then maybe try Picard afterwards to see if it's an extension of it.
That's what I was just gonna say. So, Club, so sticking with Next Generation, not driven out, still interested, still pumped to watch more.
Well, I haven't got to season 2 yet, so I mean, I need to at least complete that, and then see where I'm gonna go from there. I'll probably keep watching it as my background movie, and like at work, because at work right now I just do functionality checks and just have Star Trek on the whole time.
Damn, I'm not gonna do a full review because I personally don't think I'm far enough into it. I will say though, I've been watching the Castlevania anime as my work show.
I did a review on the first episode.
I watched the first season,
yeah. The first season was good. I'm 4 episodes into the second season, and I think honestly the problem is the first season was so short that it like had to tell its story and be done with it, so it was super great. Second season's longer, so I'm like, okay, guys, we get it. Let's fucking get into it. I kind of wish it was shorter and they were just knocking it out.
Kind of unfortunate because most anime takes fucking forever to get there, so it was nice of the first season to just tell me what happened.
Oh, and honestly, the second season's only 6 episodes, but I'm still like, all right, you padded this. You shot for 6, bro. And then I think the third one's 8. But I don't want to do a full review yet, but I will say, Klops, I think you're onto something, because my like working shows, I like to leave something that I can kind of zone in and out of. I think Next Generation is the right show to zone in and out of for a couple of fucking seasons.
Oh, I actually love it. Like, if I'm doing anything, I'll just put it out there and like I'll hear it like a radio podcast because they explain everything they're doing.
Right.
Or Devin, you can watch Scrubs again because you can do that too.
Oh man, are you gonna make the announcement I think you're gonna make?
No, because I forgot what it is. I know it's something, but I forgot what it's called.
I'm gonna give you the best setup for a thing I forgot about. So the guy who Zach Braff and I'm forgetting his name and I'm an asshole for it. Donald Faison.
I was gonna say Don Cheadle.
Turk and not Don Cheadle. Turk and JD. Klops, were you a Scrubs fan?
I've caught it here and there, but I wasn't like super.
This will mean nothing to you. So for me and Eduardo, who are pretty hard Scrubs fans, I own every season on DVD. Even the bad one, I own all of them. No, not sorry. I think me and Eduardo each have watched. Between the two of us, we are well into double digits of rewatching the whole show.
Yeah.
Like, not low number double digits.
Easily.
So Zach Braff and Donald Faison have started doing a new podcast where they're doing episode by episode commentaries on each episode of Scrubs. I'm so excited.
My God.
I'm actually gonna. It's called like not Docs, or it's got a very Zach Braff name. If you know Zach Braff's humor, it's a very Zach Braff name for a fucking podcast. But look it up. I'm excited.
I feel bad that he's not in more things.
Well, he directed a couple movies too. I can't remember
anything that was super popular, because I know he had that one show where he tries to turn into a podcaster, and
I liked it too, and it got canceled.
It was okay.
I liked it. It was cute.
Yeah, but it wasn't. There was nothing special about it. It came out around the same time that a bunch of like that exact same setup.
I will. Me and my wife are kind of sitcom cancer. If me and my wife get into a sitcom in the first season, it will get canceled.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it.
But I did some digging on Ezra Miller. He is gender fluid, so it's they them pronouns for them.
Cool.
And they are queer, and it seems like they're also pan. So they are very much into the LGBTQ plus community.
Okay. Can I please have I'm not trying to be a dick on this. This is me asking a question. Why is there a Q? What is cure? What is queer, and why is it distinct from the other things in the LGBT? What's the difference?
Queer can be a number of things.
Is it just like a placeholder?
Is it like checking the box for other?
It's very much an umbrella term for gender minorities that are not hetero and not cisgendered. So it's like it's LGBT, right? That's lesbian, gay, bi, trans, and then Q for queer is like the like gender fluid people that don't identify with any kind of sexuality as like male or female.
Okay.
So queer is just
it's the other category. It's those don't apply specifically. So here's the catch-all.
Right, because there's trans issues, there's gay issues, there's bi issues, there's lesbian
and there's
issues.
shit that's even wackier than that. I'm a mom, I'm a furry, I'm a fox.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
well, those are different things. Those aren't related to sexuality.
There are some people who identify as that first. I'm saying it's a deep minority, but there is a deep minority of people who identify as
queer.
That first. Yeah, exactly. I'm saying it's the catch-all.
That would be queer.
The one where there's not millions, there's maybe hundreds. You're gonna fall in that queue.
Yeah, that's the Q, and then they also have the plus on there to add whatever, right, kind of thing.
Yeah, see, I feel like Q and plus are a little redundant.
They are, but queer could also mean strange and odd as well, depending on the person that's using it.
Wait, am I a Q?
Maybe.
I'm fucking weird. People don't fucking like me often.
You're kind of often portrayed as unlikable by yourself.
I'm not saying I'm likable. I'm very different and abrasive. Is that a Q? Do I get a Q?
I think
maybe.
I think you
queer,
just described
queer also applies to queer theory and queer studies. So it's actual scientific theory and research.
Wait, so you're saying because I'm super interested in kink, which I am, that shit fascinates the dick out of me. I got 2 reasons to claim a Q.
No, that is.
I like
different.
how he wants to claim the letter.
I'd like to. I don't have an MD. I don't have a PhD.
The reason you
I don't got a CBT. I'd like a letter.
The reason you couldn't take Q is because you're hetero and you're cisgendered.
I know. I hate how vanilla I am. Truly, I really do hate. I don't even have like super into leather player. I got nothing.
Well, that's a leather daddy. I'm a leather daddy.
But, right, like there's so much shit out there, and I'm like, nah. And
so all you gotta do, bro, is wear some Daisy Dukes and some thigh-high boots and a wig, and you can have a Q.
Yeah.
But it's not me. It's not authentic. I wouldn't do it because it wouldn't be authentic. If I'm gonna get a Q, I'm gonna earn my damn Q. If I haven't earned my Q, I'm not gonna get my Q. I'm fine with it. I'm gonna get letters though. I want letters.
Okay.
Eduardo, as a veteran, do you get letters? Is there like a
Not in that.
You don't get to like
series.
sign your name as anything different when you're signing papers? You don't get to put like your rank? Can you do that? Like legally, could you put your rank and your name?
I technically could.
But it's super. I admit that's super douchey, and I'm glad
really
you don't.
douchey, and I would have to like put my rank and then put like retired afterwards.
What can you give? Just we're sparing him. This is not a douche move because I'm asking. Give me the full thing. How would you have to sign it if you were doing the full thing?
Usually it's for really high-ranking officials.
Sure, but what would yours be? It's a hypothetical at this point.
I would be something along the lines of my name.
No, I think he wants you to tell it. Like what?
Yeah,
like,
I want you to say what it would be.
It would be specialist. My first name, last name. I'm just not gonna say it. Not putting that much information out there, bitches.
And with your military records, you use one of your last names, right? Not both.
They turned it into one.
Oh, it's like hyphenated.
Not even. They took the nothing. They just smushed them.
Is there even a space?
It sounds like you're making random mouth movements between.
That's
something like that, right? So
you're a specialist? You don't have an actual rank, or is that the rank?
Specialist is a rank.
Yeah.
I didn't know specialist was a rank in it.
It is in the.
I thought that was a sub thing of it.
No, so I specialist, and then like I was temporarily a team leader, so I guess I could claim corporal, but I wouldn't because I was never pinned for it. But yeah, it would be specialist Eduardo. My last name. U.S. Army Infantry, retired.
Wow. See, yeah. My name is just my name, man. I don't got nothing special.
Yeah, but you can legally change your name to anything.
No, I know, but I feel like I got this old boss at one of my previous companies I worked for. And the guy has so many letters after his name, and not even in a pretentious way. He doesn't use them, but he does have like a PhD in particle physics and a doctorate in like some. One of my coworkers like put it down, and he has like 8 extra letters after his name in total. I don't remember what they all were, but he's just like when he gets curious about something, he goes and takes classes until he gets a degree and can say that he knows about that thing. That's just what this guy does. That's how his brain works.
There's certain
people
that
curious,
are like that.
I'm gonna get into this. And man, I've just ever since then I'm like, fuck. Or even my best friend, he can do notary public. He's a notary, but he can say that. It's not fancy, but he can still claim it.
Oh, actually,
if we're notary public.
If we're adding a bunch of shit, I mean, I've got some certifications to combat lifesaver and at one point air assault. Like, yeah, there's all kinds of those you can just throw in there for funsies. I
was a heart scout. I got to the rank of hearted scouts.
Yeah.
Literally all I can say is here. I don't even care if you have my last name. I don't give a shit. Steal my identity.
Yeah, well, because it's also on.
Yeah, it's already on your
It's on the screen, so it's fine. I don't care. The best I can get is Devin Barker once ate a donut off of the rim of a trash can.
You have a paper certifying that?
I will totally certify, and that is the thing.
Well, no, that's not how that works.
Devin Barker shot a porno once.
And shot.
No, I wasn't in it. I
porno
shot
once.
it. I was the camera. What it was the camera guy for a porno twice. I guess it was 2 days. It was technically 2 pornos because that's how porno works. You shoot if you're shooting 3 days, you're shooting 3 pornos. You might even be shooting 6 pornos depending on how many costumes the department brought.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I got.
That
though,
department
man.
brought
I got
2.
Even for my job, like I don't have it. Like I have no certifications because I'm at that weird point in my career where I've been doing this too long to not know what I'm talking about. So
Wait, I thought you got your
certifications,
Microsoft person certification.
I was
Sugar.
about to do it, and then I left that company, and nobody was going to pay for it, so I didn't do it.
I mean, it's
Well, I'm
pretty...
Apple certified.
See, well, I was years ago, but that's way lapsed, and it wasn't an Apple sponsorship. It was before Apple did sponsor.
Oh, okay. yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I was almost Dell certified too, and again left the company before that happened. And my new company doesn't work with Dell, so there was no point.
You're just gonna be really old and be really good at
Well,
a lot of little things.
What's super fucked up is I got a buddy who has been going through and getting a bunch of certifications, but with the town he lives in, he can't really find great IT work. So I got this buddy who's more than qualified, who can't get work, and here's me. He's like, I fail upwards. I'm the manager. Like, I know my shit. I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing it for years, but I don't have, like, paperwork to back it up. I've been doing it, man. That's my fucking qualification is that nobody's fired me yet. I've been doing it for 10 years, and so far it's like, well, he gets a paycheck.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how IT works, though, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go for certs. Yeah. I'm just going to go for just sheer knowledge.
I will say, I've met a lot of motherfuckers who are like, yeah, I can make up computer-sounding words, and that got me into IT. There's a lot of motherfuckers who are full-on in fake it till you make it, and I'm glad to say I'm past that point in my career.
Yeah.
But I meet a lot of motherfuckers who are deep into that point in their career. Mina Bordo had a manager who was really trying to ride that line.
That was all. But the problem is, I don't know if we were the first not to kiss his ass or the first people to call him on his bullshit.
Because it was bullshit.
Because there was a lot of like, Marcelo, that's not how that works. That's not how any of that works.
Who's in literally my like 1.5 years of doing IT, looking at my manager going, that's not a thing you can do, bro. You can't do that.
Yeah. I remember he'd get these oh god, I could talk about this for fucking hours, but
days.
he would get these marketing emails, and he'd be like, that he'd print out the PDF and be like, oh, I got this white paper, it's gonna solve this one problem. I'm not gonna tell all the specifics, but we were having an issue with a hosted Exchange server, and this thing was gonna make the hosted Exchange server talk to Gmail perfectly, because of course we had special people who only who wanted to be on Gmail when the rest of the company was on fucking Exchange. Anyways, now that I've bored everybody, but yeah, he comes up and he goes, oh, this connector is gonna do this, and this, and I'm like, what? No, what?
Bro, nah.
And the thing, the connector was it was just about authenticating and using like an LDAP server, and I'm like, we already have that. Like the name of that server was LDAPosaurus. We're already doing that. Like we built that. What?
That was the last company that let me get away with real jackassy names for everything we built. So we exclusively bought printers from a company called Brother. So we had like Brother from Another Mother and Brofessor and like
right.
Dude, just any bro name you could make. We had a printer with like Bros of Stalin.
Oh, that's right.
Just people really were just like, you guys need to build this thing. We're like, okay, but if we do that, we're gonna give it this name, and they'd be like, fine.
Well, it was okay. Look, it was so always bad, because they never hired the people to do the things that needed to happen. They always hired like people who knew a friend who knew that thing, if that's the best way to describe it. So like it was Devin and I, and we were for a while we were the only competent folks. And that's why they're like, okay, well, we're going to do it, but we're going to do it our way. And then people were like, where can I find Professor? I was like, oh yeah, that's the printer in the main building.
See, I've gotten into the habit of naming the computers that come into Geek Squad.
Oh, no.
Like, because they're always like X right? You know, so I put like peanut butter as like one of them. I have one that was Wayne and one that was Garth because they were from the same owner, right? And like just naming the random computers that would come in as I was fixing them, so that they would just be different.
I thought you were just naming them the stuff you find. Like one was just called all the
Stapler.
porno.
So I did work at a place. This was kind of fun, but so depending on what position you had, you either had a laptop or a desktop, just sort of depending.
Yeah.
And so the way they named everything was desktops were land mammals, laptops were birds, and then things like utilities, like conference room boxes or printers, were all sea creatures. But you'd be surprised how quick you run out of birds when you're not using like scientific names or individual genuses of birds. There's not really a whole lot of birds at like a 400-person company.
So you started.
Then you moved to dinosaurs.
Dude, it was getting. I don't know what they're doing now. I have to imagine the practice has stopped and they're just naming it after. Like that's what my company. Your laptop's name is your name.
Yep.
I don't want to have to look for things.
No, we have naming centers now, but yeah, we used to do stupid shit like that. I think at one point we had to replace an HP printer and we called it Voldemort because it killed Harry Potter.
Oh, jeez.
Nobody could ever find Voldemort because it was the one that was upstairs in the half-empty office on the corner. Yeah, it was a whole...
I do like we name. Well, I'm mad about one though. So we name our conference rooms after famous detectives. But we have a there was supposed to be a Bruce Wayne and it got shot down. But we have one called the Pink Panther, and it makes me want to smash it because the Pink Panther was not the detective. Detective Clouseau was the detective.
Yeah.
The Pink Panther was the thief.
Yeah.
That's
true.
It
drives me up a wall that we have one called Pink Panther. I'm so angry about it. It's wrong.
Yeah, how is that? That's not a great detective.
It's not a great detective.
Is it a great mouse detective?
We should have the Great Mouse Detective.
That should take Pink Panther's spot.
We have Sherlock Holmes and Watson, and I'm like, fuck Watson.
Watson wasn't a detective.
This ain't no fucking
he was a
Watson
doctor.
house. Get out. Yeah, no, it makes me mad. I think we're getting a new office, and I think I might be able to weasel Bruce Wayne in. But Bruce Wayne deserves it. Though not the best detective in the MCU. That's Owlman. Owlman. Sorry. Not the best detective in the DCU. It's Owlman.
Well, look, at one of my companies, I almost just canceled the whole program because they left it up to a vote, and everybody voted. What was that HBO show? Now I lost it.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, and I was just like, all right, well, you guys don't get to name anything anymore. We're done. We're done here. And they're like, no. I was like, no, we're done. Even HR was like, no, we're done.
I don't know. You can get some pretty cool landmarks out of it.
Yeah, but that's not what people were going to choose.
Yeah, they were going to choose like titty dragons.
Something like that.
That my next wiener.
Yeah.
Red wedding.
Yes, let's all sign all our contracts in the red wedding.
Oh, I like this idea. Now this needs to happen. The room you do all your terminations in is called the red wedding. Oh, I love it.
We went space theme for the office instead. Here's the one that makes me want to kill myself. The name of one of the either space missions or space probes was Credible. So that's why they named the meeting room. So now the Rewo guy goes around going, "You can meet Incredible," and I'm like. So I go purposely out of my way, saying like, "Oh yeah, we're meeting inside the room known as Credible." Just because, no.
It's such a bad, cringy joke. I kind of love it.
It is terrible.
I'm having a hard time right now, guys.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry I missed the timing on that. Jesus.
All right. So
It was incredible.
Oh,
I-
I like that you got your soundboard working.
yeah, I'm happy for the soundboard, but damn it, that's really how we're bringing up the soundboard.
Yeah.
That's not fair. You're one of the assholes that makes the most puns. You should not have that power.
Why?
Because we should have someone else doing it for when you make the stupid jokes.
Well, then one of you should start doing it.
Yeah, it requires effort and stuff.
Firm pass.
That's why I have it. That's why I have the power. It's my power.
Oh, I like that without missing a beat. We're both like, nah, we're cool. All right, so what have you been watching, Devin? He's been watching Star Trek.
Man, we've been finishing up all like our current running shows that have been ending, like nothing interesting, sitcom-y kind of shit or fucking basic cable kind of shit, whatever. But we did finally do the last season of Future Man.
Oh, okay.
Hulu put up the last season of Future Man, so we jammed through that. Have you guys kept up on Future Man at all? Did you ever give it a try?
I gave it a try half of the first season, and I just couldn't get into it.
So it's basically like South Park or Beavis and Butthead level comedy done in a high concept sci-fi show about time travel. Like a lot of dick and fart jokes in high concept time travel.
Yeah.
Really just kind of works. And there's a lot of, explain this thing. No. Like at the end of the show, literally the spoiler, okay? Big spoiler, I'm reviewing the last season, fuck you. Big spoiler, the last shot of the show is them, the main character's walking off, and he goes, hey, I've always wanted to ask you, you guys are like inner time refugees who were raised in sewers fighting wars your whole life. How did you create a video game recruiting program and send it into the 20th century? And he goes, well, that's an interesting story. And then the show ends. Because they're not going to bother explaining that to you. That's a dumb waste of your time.
Well,
more importantly, after two guys make a janky time jump, they switch penises.
What? What? Sounds like I need to watch this show.
One of our favorite fucking jokes. In the first season, they kind of established that nobody kisses on the mouth anymore. That's super gross because once the bad guys attack and the robots are killing everybody, your mouth is just for eating rats. That's your rat hole. You don't touch rat hole to rat hole. You just fuck for energy. So anytime, somebody in our house is like, oh, give them a kiss. And we're like, ew, rat hole to rat hole? We don't do that. Yeah, the show just has a very absurd... at one point, they meet time-traveling... Osama bin Laden, but he's like a really good guy. He's a bin Laden from a time period where somebody explained to him all the fucked up shit he was going to do, so he changed his ways and became a really cool dude because he didn't want to be as fucked up as that other Osama bin Laden. That guy's a dick. The show is so... Or they go into like this whole thing where in the future, James Cameron is like super ruler of the world or something, and he has this huge crazy gauntlet that you have to run through full of movie memorabilia. The show just goes off its fucking tits as soon as it can. It's super fun. And the last season was a little slow at points, but I really think it does pay off in the last two episodes. The last two episodes are great.
Yeah, I'll have to try it out.
I think you would really like
I think I probably would too. It seems like it's my kind of humor and my kind of like show.
Very over the top, absurdist. Yeah.
It started off strong. I just felt like it was starting to get boring halfway through the season.
You might just need to power through or something to like get to it.
Yeah.
Though,
or just sprinkle it in with other shows.
Yeah. I feel like one of the big holdbacks for you, where my wife can laugh at it, I don't think your wife is as into the raunchy, absurdist stuff.
No, I can't. This is the stuff. I have limited amount of time to watch stuff by myself.
Same.
Because, there's just some shit she's just not into.
Right.
Although, you know which show I have to figure out where, and I'm interested in buying it, is Tacoma FD.
Never
Have you
heard
heard
of
of this?
Uh-uh.
So it is at least two of the guys from Super Troopers.
Oh,
Did
yeah, the fire department one.
Yeah, they're basically firemen. It is hilarious. Um, I went over to a friend's house because I needed a document signed for some stuff, and he was like, "Oh, have you seen this show?" And we watched it, and I was surprised at how good that show really is, and it's definitely right along the vein of Super Troopers, but less Super Troopers 2, more Super Troopers 1.
Okay.
You guys should check that one out too. It's
What's it called? Tacoma
FD for fire department.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where can I see it at?
I don't know. He was watching it on YouTube Pro.
Okay.
I
don't have that.
But I think it's
It was on cable because I keep seeing commercials for it.
Oh, okay.
Or I was seeing
either.
commercials for it. Yeah, I don't have it either. That's why I've been waiting for it.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe Prime Video?
Well, and if it's only on the first season, it might show up on a Hulu or a Netflix, just not until.
Yeah, I think it's in season 2 right now.
Okay, so maybe it'll show up for me soon.
Yep. Fair enough. But yeah, you should check that one out as well.
All right. I'm into it.
Another thing that I've been watching is I'm punishing myself and I'm going back to the Lord of the Rings, watching the extended editions.
You know, me and my wife just had somebody who gave us all of his physical media. He's like, I'm just not interested in having these anymore. Take them. And he has the big special edition box sets of Lord of the Rings. So now I have those and we're like, fuck, do we rewatch these? It's a big investment to rewatch those.
Yeah,
it's a minimum of 9 hours. That's more than a work day.
I just finished the Two Towers. Like
second one?
The second one earlier today. And I watch them in like hour chunks because I do it when I'm working out.
Yeah.
So it helps my mind escape. I will say though that I forget parts of the beginning of the movie by the time I'm done with the end of it because they're so fucking long. I'm like, Jesus Christ, wait, when did that happen? Oh, right.
There are hobbits.
I still like it. I still think it's good. I will say that I like Elijah Wood a lot less this time around because
Gandalf, no.
Yeah, I don't know. It was so whiny at parts, right? And I do agree. I feel like Sam and Frodo should have ended up together.
Well, I mean, the whole book is like, come on, Mr. Frodo, come on, let's stay with me. He's like rubbing him down with a towel, trying to wake him up.
What did you say, Devin?
Oh, I said they should have.
Yeah, they were like, that was way more than just bro love.
Yeah. No, there was. They at least touched tips. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I don't know. Definitely saw each other up close.
Yeah. They thought about it.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. We'll see after Return of the King. Although I will say that it's really hard to get away from the memes. So whenever the scenes come up where they made memes of it,
you're like, one does not simply.
Yeah, that or when I forget his name, but the Aragorn when he kicks the helmet and he screams like he's in physical pain. It's because he is. It's because when he kicked the helmet, he broke his toe. Yeah. So, and they kept filming, and he apparently held it together enough. And then the next couple of scenes, I see him moving kind of weird at weird angles. I'm like, is that because he's wearing a boot now?
Probably.
So it takes me out of the action a little bit.
I kind of had that experience when I read The Hobbit. Because every time Gandalf gave him a queer look, I was picturing a completely different queer look than the queer look that he meant. And I was like, this is really breaking my immersion in this.
Or is it adding to your immersion in it?
I knew that it was a different queer because it was written in the 1920s. Or before that.
Oh, I thought you were just sitting there like egging them on like, y'all should fuck.
I mean, kind of. That's where it kind of got to at the point. Look. I was like, Gandalf gave him a queer look. I was like, ha, that's not the queer they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Fab.
was
You're
like, man,
picturing it, aren't you?
he
Right,
really
Klops,
wants to fucking bang this hobbit.
Klops, I
Well-
want you to know that right now, Eduardo just pictured you on your bed, like book in one hand, cock in the other, reading about Gandalf and Frodo.
I mean, it's a pretty
really
tantalizing
reading
thought.
about it. I just had a full on him and a fucking hobbit going to town on each other, just like circuit sealing it.
And it's kind of like my girlfriend Lavender. She's small enough.
Klops is a little big for a hobbit.
No, he's talking about me fucking a hobbit.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying you're a little big for a hobbit.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
not a
man.
hobbit. If anything, I'm kind of an orc.
No, that's just what you want. The oh, I want to be an orc. Fuck off.
I'd rather be an orc.
But no, anyways, they hold up.
You gonna watch them with all the commentary and the special features and
No,
shit?
no, fuck. Half the time I don't give a shit. Like, I'd rather just watch YouTube videos where people point out shit in like a
The highlights of the
10, 15
the
video,
behind the scenes shit.
10, 15 minutes. Yeah. I don't need to know what the fucking director was thinking at any god-given time. Like, I'm not that guy. I know your brother's super into that, but
Uh-huh.
sometimes commentary tracks just, for me, get in the way. I'm like, like, just show me the movie.
Speaking of my brother, Bias Bros, alternating Thursdays. He finally is sitting down and watching Community
Oh,
after
okay.
having never seen Community.
And we've been telling him for fucking years at this point.
Klops, you've done Community, right?
I've seen some of it, yeah.
Oh, bro, you've got to do Community.
I watched the D&D episodes, and that's all that really mattered to me.
No, you gotta. If you're not seeing the paintball episodes, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Oh, yeah, the fucking paintball episodes are great.
My brother's comment was even like, you could teach classes on that first paintball episode. There's just so much going on. And there's basically a point where the show starts off as like here's a bunch of extreme character archetypes in a situation go, and kind of becomes a deep introspection on different kinds of television tropes.
Mhm.
Like a super deep breakdown without being a breakdown.
Well, maybe I'll give it a shot. And in between watching all of the next
Star
generation.
Trek Community. You're gonna run out of Community first.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show basically just becomes a critical analysis of the state of television.
It's pretty interesting. Although
Like Too Many Cooks?
Oh, Klops, you finally watched it, and I'm so happy. Can you tell me
Oh.
all about your experience with Too Many Cooks?
I hated it.
I love Too Many Cooks. It's so good.
I loved it. And unedited footage of a bear. Because I watched that one right afterwards. But I think I had more enjoyment over watching Olivia try to watch it with me. Because like I told her, do you want to watch it with me? And she's like, okay. And I was like, the only gimmick is that we have to watch it all the way through. We cannot stop. And she's like, that's kind of making me not want to watch it, but okay. I was like, don't worry, it's only like 12 minutes long. She's like, okay. And so we watched the whole thing, and I could just see her getting more and more like, I'm done with this. And it just made it more and more appealing to me. It got to the point at the end where it like kind of goes to the show, and she's like, no! She like yelled out no, and then it went to be continued. And I was like, you couldn't have better timing there. That was perfect.
So
Like, that is what the director wanted his audience to feel at that moment. I am sure of it, even though it's a kind of like talk about the industry of how the companies destroy shows and how they just like fucking murder them and shit. It was great.
two things that put it over the top for me. The first was part of the lyrics as they say, too many cooks spoils the stew. That's
Close
part
the broth,
of,
yeah.
or the broth. That's what it is. That's part of it. So when they get to the G.I. Joe parody one, the name of the evil group is Broth.
Yeah.
Because too many cooks spoil the broth.
Yeah. No, it was
My
great.
wife was the one who noticed that, and that's where she fucking lost. It was just like that was the point. That was where the madness set in for us, because suddenly too many cooks had layers. There was actually something happening, and that's just where her mind snapped. But the other part that set over the top is really how they originally set it up. The original Too Many Cooks, the way it aired, was at 2 a.m, and if you looked at the TV Guide channel, it was listed as infomercials. Read if you have like satellite and you're scrolling, it tells you what show you're about to start. It said it was an infomercial. So there had to be some old lady tuning in at 3 a.m. who's like, "Oh, it's the infomercials, and they're gonna sell
I
you a
saw
back
it.
scratcher."
I saw it. I was one of the few people who caught it because I had gotten home. I was drunk as shit because it was 2 a.m. when it came on. So I'm pretty sure I had a giant bag of fucking McDonald's. And I was gonna watch
some double cheese.
Yeah, I was gonna watch, Comedy Central and whatnot.
Cartoon Network.
Sorry, Cartoon Network. And then it turned on, and I was just like, because I was so drunk, I was like, how long have I been here? Wait, is this going on forever? Because I didn't catch the subtleties of what was happening because I was stuffing a fucking burger in my face like a fat kid. And then all of a sudden I realized, I'm like, this is still on. Oh my God.
It just keeps going.
It was just...
There's also another one. I think it's called "There's People in This House" or something like that. And it starts off as just like people living in a house, and it progressively gets weirder until there's somebody melting their way through the floor.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out. But
there's people in this house, or there's people who live in this, something like that. You'll find it.
But unedited footage of a bear was really good. I really enjoyed that one too. Did you watch that one?
I haven't seen that one.
That's by the same director that made Too Many Cooks.
Okay.
And it's basically, it starts off with like this bear in the wild, and they're like making comedy, like, look, there's a bear. Look at his ears. Right? And then like it just goes into like you can't even tell. It just looks like a YouTube ad commercial. Like with a skip button and everything, but that's the actual video. It's like this commercial for like some kind of like allergy medicine, and it just gets progressively more and more like why you don't do drugs as it goes on. And as the video is going on, it's still flashing up the little warnings like in small print about warning that this might cause whatever, or like this might do this, right? Like it's really, really well done. Like I liked it just as much, and Olivia hated it just as much because I turned it on right after Too Many Cooks.
So I just linked you guys. This house has people in it. You're going to have to watch that with her. But you just reminded me of another one. Let me pull up the name. So, okay. It's a series of them, and it's done by Oats Studios. Oats Studios is Neil Blomkamp, the guy who did like District 9 and Elysium and all that. So he now owns a YouTube channel where they just film high-budget sci-fi shorts to see if they can drum up interest in them. We've actually talked about it on the show before, so anybody who's seen it before, that's what it is. But Klopp specifically, you need to watch yourself 2 videos tonight. You need to do the people live in whatever the one I just linked. There are people in this house, or this house has people in it, whatever it's called. And then you need to look up Oats Studios Cooking with Bill.
It's on YouTube?
Yes, all of them are. Yeah, it's on YouTube first. And it's just these little like shorts of this, like home cooking channel. It's like Lovecraftian cooking channel.
Oh.
Eduardo, you should probably watch them too, but don't watch them with Van. It will give her nightmares. Full on. Like she will not sit well with these.
Well,
so watch them on your own.
It's funny because I really want to show her Half-Life Alyx.
No, it's gonna be too much. I can guarantee it.
But it's so good though. Like I was supposed to talk about it, but I'm gonna wait to do a full review next week because we're right up on the time. But it is so good. Last week I did a VR review. This blows that game out of the fucking way.
I have a game for you to try if it's available for your system. It's Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners.
Okay, I'm not really into The Walking Dead, but I'll give it a go.
You don't have to be. It's from what I have seen of like the footage and everything, it looks like it's going to be really
Have
fun.
You seen footage of Alyx?
No, I've kept myself in the dark about it.
Okay. Then I won't fuck with it too much.
No, it's just more that I just haven't really looked at it because I don't have VR, and I was just like, I probably won't ever get to play it, so I just kind of like left myself in the dark about it. So in case I ever get VR, I could play it, but I don't mind. You could spoil the fuck out of it. I'll probably still play it if I get it.
See, I think one of Bonsai's worries was that I'd end up being a Half-Life like fanboy and just be talking it up, or that you need to play all the other ones. And I played Counter-Strike, and I played the first Half-Life. I don't think I ever finished the first Half-Life.
Mm-hmm.
It's overrated.
I'm actually interested in going back and playing Black Mesa, and I didn't play 2 at all. So I went super fresh into this. Just I have a friend who never plays video games, and the last 2 video games he recommended were fantastic. Mm-hmm. So I would just try it out, and
I've played all the Half-Lives. Like I enjoy them.
Yeah,
I feel that I enjoyed 1 not as much as everyone else because it was overhyped, but the ones that I enjoyed from 1 were actually expansions. Because like I was a poor kid.
You mean like Blue Shift
and Opposing Forces where I started my Half-Life journey, and I actually liked those way better than the actual original story.
I liked Blue Shift. I played a little bit of Blue Shift. I got the big box for all of them from a friend when I was a kid because it was poor shit too. But anyways, Alex is great. They got the mechanics pretty much down. I would love to see a Resident Evil done in the style of Alex. I think it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they did release that crap. It's not a numbered Resident Evil. You know what I'm talking about, though. The PS4 Resident Evil that is released on VR. I have it, but I haven't played it.
Is it Nemesis?
Maybe.
Well, they just released or rebooted and released Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, but they also
it is. No, it isn't. It's 7. Resident Evil 7 is on VR.
Yeah, well, there's Resident Evil 7 that was also on VR. I was going to say.
Okay. Oh, is it good?
Resident Evil 7 is great.
I don't trust my wife enough for me to play a spooky VR game with her in the room.
She's gonna fuck with you.
She 100% will. She says she won't, but she will. I don't fucking trust her.
That's funny. So you know what? That's the fucked up part. So Saturday I was playing Alex, and I'm sitting there, and there are puzzles. They're really. I don't want to get into a whole review, but anyways, point is, the music was spooky. The ambiance was spooky. I'm in full VR, and my wife just like opens the door to my office, and it scared the living daylights out of me. I turn around and I put my weapon up, and I'm not to her. It's just me pointing a controller at her. She has no idea what the fuck is going on because she can't see what I'm seeing. She's like, "Are you okay? I'm sorry." I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm fine." But yeah. Full review next week. That brings us up there to our time. Check us out Tuesdays from 7 to 9 Pacific. We do multiplayer games, or if folks aren't interested in that, I play stuff by myself. We've been playing a lot of Shell Shock because one of our members that is joining is quarantined at his girlfriend's house, and unfortunately, that's one of the only games that he can run on her laptop.
Runs, yeah.
Yep. So lots of Shell Shock. Tune in, cheer us on, or don't. It's cool. Every other Thursday, Bias Bros gets put out. You can catch it on iTunes. Final words, Klops.
I'm probably going to keep sticking with Next Generation. I might take a break here and there for other things, but I'll probably chuck through them.
Cool. Bonsai?
Still rereading all of my comics.
Cool.
I'm still in the A's.
Rereading?
Rereading.
Will Wheaton. I hate both of you. Bye.
Bye.